Hello everybody, it's Maikito. I hope everybody's having a good day and it's had a good day so far. There was no video yesterday, obviously. There was no soccer games, and I believe it's only a 2 game slate when it came to WNBA. Or maybe it might have been 3, but I didn't find anything I liked. So I'm never gonna force a video if I don't have any plays that I like. But we have this Friday slate. We have quite a few games, not a lot, but enough to make a video. I found plays that I liked. But as always, if I do have any edit plays, it will be in the pinned comment in this video either later tonight, but more than likely tomorrow when more lines are out, lines are adjusted, or team lineups get confirmed, and maybe a player is playing that I didn't anticipate or anything like that. And then any page that you see on the screen is from the data app called Outlier. Link for that is in the description. You get a 7-day free trial when you use my code, and it helps support the channel. So if you're interested in that, you can use that. Other than that, I'll get straight into the plays. The first player prop that I found that I like is Rafael Mir to go higher than 2 shots at home for Elche, going up against Levante. He's a decent striker that honestly, in my opinion, hasn't had enough playing time in his last couple seasons. He did manage to, he came off the bench in the first game, but he started the last game against Atletico Madrid, a tough matchup. Played 67 minutes, didn't even play the full game, and still managed to take 2 shots, and he scored that game. And last season, despite not being able to get a lot of playing time, he still averaged 3.27 shots per 90. And he only started 5 times in the league, and he in those 5 starts, he had 2+ shots in 3 out of 5 games, so that's a 60% chance that he gets at least 2. But if you look at the 2 teams that he went under, it was against Barcelona, who allowed the least amount of shots that season, and Bilbao, who allowed the second least amount of shots. So he had 2 really tough matchups. And now he's playing a Levante side who is not great defensively and don't even hold possession. Their first 2 games, they gave up 15 and 26 shots to Deportivo Alaves and Barcelona respectively. And in those games, they gave Alaves 62% of the ball and Barcelona 82% of the ball. And in those 2 games, they conceded 5 goals. So they're playing a team that's not great defensively, which is to his advantage. And last season, when they faced each other, Levante gave up 25 shots and 13 shots with 78% possession and 56% possession to Elche. So even last season, Elche took a lot of shots against Levante. He's a versatile player. He took last season, he took 15 shots with his right, 7 headers, because he's 6'2" and 4 with his left, and he's also a long shot taker, taking 17 from inside the box and 10 from outside the box. Now that he's getting playing time, I like the line and I like the matchup, so I like Rafael Mir to go higher than 2 shots. And then the second player prop that I found that I like so far is Daniel Sinani to go higher than 1.5 shots away from home for St. Pauli, going up against Hamburg. He went over in the first game with 2 shots against Dortmund, and one of them came from the penalty spot. So he is their set piece taker, which is what I like, because Hamburg on average last season fouled the 6th most in the league, and he averaged 2.52 shots per 90 last season. He's a long shot taker, taking 22 from outside the box and 13 from inside the box. And last season, he only started about half of the games, and the other half, he came off the bench. But if you look at the games that he started, which was 14 games, he went over in 11 of those 14 games. He only went under in 3 games, so it had a 79% hit rate. So as long as he starts, I like this line. Besides, in the first game, Hamburg gave up 17 shots and 61% possession against Dortmund, I believe. Or sorry, not against Dortmund, against Gladbach. But even without counting that game, the game right before that in the cup, they gave Pirmans 16 shots with them only holding 25% of the ball. So with very little possession, they still managed to take 16 shots. And Pirmans is a team in a much lower division, which means shot opportunities that St. Pauli can take advantage of. Pirmans, the team that they played, if you try to look up what division they're in, they're like in a low division in the German league. The last season, when it comes to stats that I can even find, is back from like 2020, 2021. So this season, they allowed a lot of shots to a much lower division team. They allowed a lot of shots in the first Bundesliga team. So I expect St. Pauli to get those same shot opportunities. And at 1.5, I like this line for him. He had a great hit rate when he started last season. So I like Daniel Sinani to go higher than 1.5 shots. Before I get into my money line plays, as always, I really appreciate if everybody just took a second to like the video and comment as well. It takes just a second. It's a great way to support the channel. It helps boost these videos out to the algorithm so more people can see these plays. You know, I give all these plays out for free. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Turn on notifications so you're notified when these videos do go out to y'all. And I do also let y'all know in my free Discord, which is also linked in the description. It is not a premium. I do not hide any pics. You get them all on my YouTube. It's just for those that, again, want to get notified as well. And another community where people post their own plays. You can put your plays. People talk during the games. Your community. Link for that in the description. And I mentioned I have a link for Outlier linked as well. So I really want to thank anybody and everybody who supports me in any way. We hit day 1 of the ladder challenge last video, so we're on to day 2. I have this play for minus 136, and the first play is in the English Championship, and that's Leicester City to score, going up against Birmingham. First of all, they're at home, so it's already great for us. And in 4 games this season, they've scored in all 4 games. And even then, it's not like they had easy matchups. They played Charlton, who in the other 2 games that they played kept clean sheets. Leicester's the only team that has scored against them so far. Preston and Sheffield Wednesday. So it's not like they had easy matchups. Besides, just history-wise, they always seem to have the upper hand. Even just looking back at 2 seasons ago, which was the last time they played. 2 seasons ago, they played 3 times, and they scored in all 3. And they managed to score 2+ goals in all 3 of those games. We just need them to score 1. And Leicester have controlled possession so far in all 4 of their games, while Birmingham have conceded in 5 games this season. They've conceded in 4 games, and they're coming off a game in the EFL Cup where they got eliminated by a League One side, a team in a lower division than them, and they were at home, and they still got eliminated. So they're not really doing great morality-wise, while Leicester's doing pretty good. And in the 5 games that they've played so far this season, only 1 of them have been away from home, so they haven't even had to travel that much. But now they do. And last season when they played in League One, they conceded 20 goals in 23 away games, so they averaged almost a goal a game conceded. Now in a better division, going up against a better team, and Leicester's at home. I like them. So I like Leicester City to score at least once at home going against Birmingham. And the second play is in the Italian league in Serie A, and that's Sassuolo to score away from home going up against Cremonese. 2 games in, they scored in the cup in the first game, and then they failed to score in the most recent game against Napoli. But they were a tough matchup, so I don't blame them too much there. They played in the Serie B last season. These are two of the teams that got promoted this season. So they played each other twice last season. They scored in both games. So Sassuolo had the best offense in the Serie B last season with 78 goals in 38 games, which was a 2.05 average. They averaged 2 goal scorers a game. And even away from home, they still managed to score 35 and 19. So that's a 1.84 average. So they still had a great offense even away from home. So I'm not worried about it. They kept Lorient and Berardi, who have been together for multiple seasons now, who are great people on the offense. And then Pinamonti, who used to be with Sassuolo, played 1 season with Genoa, which was his last season. But he's joined them back again, and he managed to score 10 goals and 1 assist with that Genoa side. And his 11 goals and assists made up for almost a third of their goals, and Genoa is not a great offensive side. Now he's back in a better offensive team, and Cremonese is coming off an impressive win to Milan, yes, but they still conceded in that game. I mean, should have conceded a second and gave them 64% of the ball, 24 shots and 6 shots on target. And Kone for Sassuolo is suspended, and he's more of a defensive player, so he will likely get substituted by Guillon, who is much more of a playmaker than a defensive player. So if anything, expect more offense from Sassuolo. So they scored against them twice last season. I like their team, and I just trust them to score. So I like Sassuolo to score away from home going up against Cremonese, and I had this slip for day 2 for minus 136. I have a second money line play. I got this in Spain, La Liga, for minus 108, and that's both teams to score in the Elche and Levante game for minus 108. This play has hit in all 4 games between this season. The first 2 games for Elche and the first 2 games for Levante. This play has hit in all 4 of their games. Both teams can score, but both teams are also leaky on defense. And both of these teams were the teams that got promoted from the second division. So they played each other twice last season, and this play hit in both of those games as well. Both teams can score, both teams leaky on defense. And despite Levante on paper and according to the odds being, first of all, being away and being the underdog, they seem to get the upper hand against them last season as well. They won the league last season in the second division. Elche got second place. They tied in the first game in Levante, but when they played them in Elche, Levante beat them 3-1 away from home. Levante scored more goals than Elche last season, but they also did concede more. And Elche managed to score against Atletico and Betis, which are 2 tough matchups, but Levante are coming off scoring 2 goals against Barcelona. So both teams have already been able to show that they can score against these tough oppositions. So I expect this to be a back and forth game. I slightly favor Levante in general, even though they're the underdogs in this game. For them to score, but regardless, they still had 15 and 26 shots in the first 2 games of the season and gave up possession. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities for both sides, and I expect both teams to get those chances. So I like this play for -108. Both teams to score in the Elche and Levante game. Thank you everybody for watching. Quickly going over last video's picks. It was a pretty good day. It was a 3-1 day. When it came to the plays that happened in the video, I mentioned they 1 hit, which did. We had the Celta and Betis game to get a goal in the first half, which hit. And then we had Everton to score 2 against Mansfield Town. They scored towards the end of the game, the second goal, but they came through for us, so we hit that. And then when it came to the player props in the video, we had Fornal to go higher than 0.5 shots, which when the game ended, it said he had 0, but they stat corrected it, and it actually went in our favor for once because he actually did take a shot. They just hadn't counted it at the time, but he hit for us. And then we had Allende to go under 0.5 goals and assists, but he didn't start, so that the impede. But I did have 2 added plays, and that was Luis Suarez to go over on 3 shots and Mikovic to go higher on 3 saves. Luis Suarez hooked and went under with 2, but Mikovic did go over. I believe he had like, what, 5 saves or something like that. He might have had 6. I can't remember, but he hit. So we hit 3 plays, which was Fornals, Mikovic, and the money line, and the only miss was Suarez. So we had a pretty good day, and hopefully we can carry on the momentum going into this Friday slate. Like I mentioned before, if I do have any added plays, they will be in the pinned comment either later tonight, but more than likely tomorrow afternoon, when the lines are out, more lines are out, the lineups are in, all of that. But other than that, thank you everybody for watching. I hope everybody has a good night, a good day, and we can cash out tomorrow.